we're the center of, like, the closest airports are all between 5, 6, 7 hours away. I mean, we're in a circle.
Yeah.
Las Vegas, Albuquerque, Salt Lake, Denver, you know, we're kind of right in the middle.
Yeah.
And so it takes a certain type to come and be pretty independent.
So if a person is going to show up and spend $700,000 to buy a house that's for sale in Bluff today, is it more likely that that house is going to be a primary residence or a secondary residence for that person?
That rate, I think, primary.
But yeah, I mean,
Because the second home people are not, I mean, some of them are pricier, but usually the second home ones they have a base house somewhere else, and this is a smaller.
Okay, so it's more of a cottage style house, the second homes in this area, as opposed to like the Oprah style house.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
So a few more data slides here. Short-term rental patterns. It's having an effect on Bluff. These numbers are probably not perfect, but without paying for really expensive software, it's pretty good. So we're showing that 26% of the inventory is short-term rentals, right? That's pretty high. Not as high as Spanish Valley, where it's almost 2/3, but at 26%, that is definitely. You can see why there's tension on that topic. You can see why people are saying, "Look, I work here every day, but I can't afford to live here because these units are being used for this." Do you want to do something about that as a city? I know you all already have registrations and fees, that kind of thing.
We've also kept short-term rentals as.
Oh, okay, you did. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. There you go. Right. So you've got your policy, right? I would say, and you can see it in the packets, the price has increased over time, which is not the case in Monticello and some other places, like the price per night for short-term rentals, which means demand is still kind of on the upswing. And you've got a pretty healthy occupancy rate at 55%. Once you get over 50%, that means it's not just seasonal. People coming by all times of year to utilize that. So yeah, so it's going to continue to affect your market for better or worse. Population and poverty, an important statistic when you're looking at federal grants, some state grants. San Juan County is high, right? So according to the numbers, it's at north of 20%. But underlying that, you really see what the story is there. If you go about 20 miles south of here is where you hit all the real poverty in the county. Not all of it, but right. If you from this point northward up until you get to Moab, it's basically average. Go south. That's where the poverty is. So yeah, and I think that we haven't talked a tremendous amount about the engagement work that we did with Navajo Nation and that kind of thing. We connected with all of the chapter houses, had good conversations with them. The solutions there are tricky. We've been talking with the county commissioners about that. It's not simply a matter of just like dropping in some grant funding, and walking away. And so we're aware of that. But I think that one of the things that the county should think about is that there's a lot of commuters, and that's always going to be you all feel that, right? That's always going to be part of it. So one way that you can kind of adjacently help this sovereign nation is by putting more attainably priced housing and more rentals closer to that border so they can access them and still be close to their families. So, recommend